This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. So today we will see last few topics remaining in database testing. So that is subqueries. So today I'm going to end the class with this session at 12 o'clock your time. So it should be 1.5 hours. So later you can have lab session on the database testing itself. So whatever queries relevant, you can practice more. And next class we'll start the SoapUI and REST services testing. Okay, so I'll finish faster today, and today we'll learn about subqueries. So subqueries, there are different queries related to queries within queries. One is simple subquery, one is nested subquery, one is multiple subqueries, one is correlated subqueries. So what is a subquery? A subquery is a select statement containing another select statement. So that is subquery, query within a query. Okay, and the subqueries will be used to check a column data with the output of another select statement. So the inner select statement returns some value, one value only, based on which basically satisfies the where condition of the outer subquery. Okay, so then it returns a final output. So basically the where condition of the first subquery or the outer subquery is dependent upon the output of the inner subquery. Okay, so let's see the example so you'll understand more. A subquery is the select statement containing another subquery, another select statement. So in the subqueries, at first the inner query will be executed. Always it comes from the innermost. So if you have multiple like query within a query within a query within a query, so it comes from the inside bracket. You know what I'm saying? So innermost query will be executed first, and it goes outward gradually. Okay, and based on the result of the inner queries, the parent query will be executed. So parent query in the sense the outermost queries. Outermost is the grandparent. So like same thing as the hierarchy in the document object model that developer uses. Same thing here is used by the database administrator or database guy. So the note is inner query will be executed first, and based on its result the parent query will be executed. So based on this way the select statements are provided, and the way they will be executed is from outer to inner to outer. And okay, keyboard. Okay, so there are 4 different types of subqueries. Like I said, those are okay, 4 types of subqueries. Those are, what are those? Simple subquery, second is nested, third is multiple, fourth is correlated. Okay, so what is a simple subquery? So it's a simple select statement containing another select statement. It's query within a query, no complication. So just one query, it has another query which returns the result for the where condition of the first query. Okay. So select statement containing only one another. Okay, just single. So that's why it's simple. Okay, example will be okay, my query will be let's say get a second maximum salary from the employee table. Okay, EMB table. Okay, now how do you write the SQL query? Select max is the aggregate function, right? Okay, there is no need to use group by or having. So select max of salary, but my query is second max salary. So the top max salary, leave that and this choose the second max salary. So if it is just maximum salary, this would suffice, correct? So this would return the maximum salary. Now I want second maximum salary. So whichever salary is just less than the maximum salary is considered to be the second maximum salary, isn't it? So it's easy. Okay, so let's elaborate on this, where the salary is less than what? Max salary, right? But this would not return the correct result, so we have to run an inner query. Okay, so that would be select max salary from employee. Okay, so first inner query will be executed. The select max salary from employee will return the max salary, whatever it is, like 20, 50, 100K, let's say. Okay, now that is for let's say some guy. Okay, Kazi has max salary. Now Bhaumik Shukla is drawing 75K, let's say. Now that is the second max salary, right? Now where salary is less than the select max salary, so first it will check max salary is 100K. 100K is not less than 100K. Now second max salary is 75K. 75K is definitely less than 100K. So output will be what? 75K. Oh, somebody is echoing. Most salary will return max salary 100K, and whatever is less than 100K, immediate less than 100K will be considered to be the second max salary. So hence your output will be the second max salary. So remember, where salary is less than, I am not saying manually 100K. Okay, so I am writing another query which returns the max salary, correct? That would be this simple: select max salary from employee will return me max salary always. Now I am asking whatever is less than this guy would be the immediate less than, would be the second max salary. Simple. All right, you can put select star also, doesn't matter. Okay, whatever, whoever having this salary, all those details will be displayed. Okay, now you can practice more on that without wasting much time on that. we will move to the nested subquery. So what is the nested subquery? In the name itself, you can find the meaning at least a little bit. So nested, so it's within something. Okay, so it's a select statement containing another select statement which contains another select statement, and so on and so forth, right? So these type of nesting nature of select statement is called a nested subquery. So it is some simple subquery repeated, okay, to n number of times. That's it. So it's a select statement containing another select statement which contains another select statement, and so on. So this is the nested nature containing nesting. Okay, if you look at any nest of any bird, so it will be like this. So it builds in a enclosed manner. So something containing something containing something. So within this it will lay its eggs. So it's same thing for queries also. So maximum of how many such so ons, I mean how many such select statement within a select statements we can have. Is it infinite or is it limited? Any guesses? Until a maximum of, any guesses? Is it 100, 20, 32 select statements? Okay, so maximum of 32 select statements you can have. You cannot have 33 or more. Okay, so let's look at an example. Now, okay, I said first salary, okay, second max salary, right? Now, if I change the query a little bit to get the third maximum salary from EMP table, okay. So for this simple query will not suffice, simple subquery, but you have to write a nested subquery. Okay, anyone? Simple, first max sal from EMP table, right, where my salary is less than a maximum salary. So select max sal from EMP where that particular sal is less than the max salary from employee. So this will return the second max salary. So this will return 100k, okay, and whatever is less than 100k is 75k. So this will return 75k, right? And whatever is less than 75k, 50k would be the third max salary. So output is okay. I mean, it depends on how your salaries are inserted in the employee table. So it's just an example. Okay. So you got the picture, right? So you could ask, this will go on and on. If I want my like 30th max salary, so you have to keep on repeating this inner nested, which will be very cumbersome. So there is another technique for that one, don't worry, but you can go for like 4 or 5 times like this. But if it increases like 20th number, then you could use, there is a formula, you could use this one. Okay, somebody tries to talk, but it's go on echo. Yes, who is it? Any question? Okay, so if no questions, we will move on to the multiple subquery. Okay, what do you guess is a multiple subquery? ？ . 。 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . Okay, or before jumping to that, we will look at that nth, get the nth max salary from employee table. Okay, so there is a formula that is n max salary n minus 1. So you could generalize that and just put it. How to find third or nth maximum salary. So if you get any doubt, you can always query in, I mean, you can use Stack Overflow, which has most questions answered. Okay. So top n, select top n. So replace n by the number and it would return the nth maximum salary. So you can use select min employee salary or minimum or maximum depending upon your query. From salary where sal in instead of less than you use in, select top n employee salary from salary order by employee sal desk. Okay, so you can also order by, I'm just looking at other. Okay, so also you can use this offset n minus 1 rows, fetch next 1 rows. From employee, that's alias where n minus 1 equals select count distinct emp2 dot salary. Okay, so there are multiple ways, not just one way. So you could use one of these. That's a big one. Select distinct salary from employee order by salary. I wouldn't recommend this one. Desk limit 2,1. So if I want fifth, 20,000, right? Fifth. Top is 25. Then comes 22, 21, third, 24th. You can type, okay, so that's for the fourth, right? Yeah. Okay, so this works perfectly. So you could use this one. But this looks very big. So, okay, output will be the same. You can use either of these, doesn't matter. But this is just for the interview purpose. In reality, you don't need to, at least for the testing purpose, I would say. So you pick any one of these. Max salary, okay. So that's for max. So for max, we use min. For min, use max. That's technique. Get the nth max sal. So you could customize this n by whatever number of max you want. Okay, multiple subqueries. You can take a look at this example. Reference. Okay, so what is a multiple subquery? Let's finish faster so that we have you have time for lab. So say it max multiple subquery is a select statement containing different select statements of different places at different places. So instead of just innermost, you can insert at different points of the different places of the query containing different select statements at different places. Okay, so example would be list out all the employees who are having salary less than the maximum salary and also having a hire date greater than the hire date of an employee who is having the max salary. Okay, that looks like complicated. So using multiple subqueries, you can write a select query. Okay, so this is going to return multiple records. So all the employees who are having salary less than max sal and having hire date greater than hire date of an employee who has max sal. Okay, so you have to divide and conquer in this. So first you got to find out who has a max salary. So that would be employee number, if you want employee number, where who is having where salary is max salary. Okay, so then you got to find out whose hire date is greater than this guy who is having max salary. Then okay, just list out all those employees. Okay, how do you write the query? Select. You could return all specific columns, but I would just go for select star. So you replace it. So you can include employee ID, employee name, e-name, salary, hire date, so and so from EMP, where salary is less than the max salary. So that would be select max salary from EMP, and is a keyword. Hire date is greater than. Whose hire date? Hire date is greater than that guy of that guy's hire date who has the max salary. Okay, so hire date is greater than select hire date. Okay, so all you have to do is just put where condition. Right, this is the next where condition, where this and this is the second where condition. Okay, so first where condition is on the salary and second where condition is on the hire date. So I want hire date which is greater than someone else hire date. So always you put greater than, then innermost query will be select statement that returns the hire date of that guy. So basically this will take a specific hire date value like 11/25/2018 or whatever. So select hire date from EMP where salary is max salary. So the maximum salary guys hire date we want, right? This is the innermost query. It got to be innermost query. So I want an employee who has max salary. So that would be this one, select star from, but I want that guy's hire date. So instead I would just want select hire date from employee where salary equals, yes, the max salary. So again, one more innermost query, max salary from EMP. Close bracket, that's it. So let's look at this again. So always come from the right, that's easier. So I want an employee who has max salary, right? How would you derive that? Yes, select max salary from employee will return the max salary, right? Now I want that guy's hire date, so I would write say select query like select hire date from employee where salary equals max salary. So this would return max salary, right? So if I want second max salary, I would be writing this, right? So instead I want the max salary. Okay, so that would return 100K, and this guy's hire date will be written, and I want hire date having hire date greater than the hire date. So this guy's hire date is something, let's say, okay, so it is 11/11/2018. Now I have one more guy whose hire date is greater than that one. Greater than means it is before, so 10/10/2018. So he joined before that. So that's how the date comparison works. And hire date is greater than, okay, and list out all those employees who are having salary less than max salary. Okay, so obviously select star from employee where salary is less than the max salary, and the second condition will satisfy both of these, and this will list out all those records. So once you run this, you will come to know. So it will return output will be 100 salaries. Max salary is 100K, right? So that would be less than max salary always. 75K. Hire date is let's say it's YYY format, 1999 hyphen MM0112. Okay, so let's say 102 is uh, 50K and 2000 103 Shukla 30K. So all of these, like, okay, 2017 02 80. Okay, so just try it out. Okay, now let's go to the correlated subquery. So this is a normal subquery. The inner query will be executed only once, and based on the result of the inner query, the parent query will be executed. So that's a normal subquery, right? So in the case of correlated subquery, the inner query will be executed for each record of the parent table, and the internal execution process of the correlated subquery will be following. A record value from the parent table will be passed to the inner query first, and the inner query execution will be done based on that value, the return value, and the result of the inner query will be sent back to the parent statement, and the parent query execution will be completed for that record value, and all of these will be repeated for each record of the parent table. So it looks a little complicated, so no need, we don't need to get to use this correlated subquery much, but I'll jump to the example directly. So get the nth max salary, like I said before, so that would be the easiest. Nth max salary from EMP table. Okay, so we already written the formula here, right? So get the nth max salary. So this would be actually, you cannot possibly use a nested query to get this. So we would use this for correlated subquery. Okay, so let me write, instead of nth is very like, it's not very concrete, it's very abstract. So let's go for fifth max salary. So if I want to use nested subquery, it will become very cumbersome, isn't it? So I had to repeat this: select max salary from employee where salary is less than select max salary from employee where salary is less than, select max. So I have to repeat this 4 times. So for the third max, I have to repeat 2 times, right? 2 times inner query. For the fourth max salary, I have to repeat 3 times. So it's always n minus 1. Just see the pattern. If it is fifth max salary, I have to repeat this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So third will have 2 inner queries. That is the formula. Okay. So let me modify my query. Example, get the fifth max salary. Okay. So 4 inner queries, which is cumbersome. So let's go for the formula. So SQL would be select. Let's say I'll divide this into 2 employees. One is A, one is key, one is B. Copy of, like just like we used in the self join. So I would call a first copy of employee table as A and second copy of employee table as B, alias names. Okay. So a.empid, comma a.ename, comma a.sal from emp table A, where, okay, so 5 is what? 5 is n, so n minus 1. So forget about this one. Okay, so I am going for the different approach, like the reference showed multiple ways of doing it, right? So n minus 1, we will generalize this one also and write. So where 4, which is 5 minus 1, right? 4 equals select count of distinct of b dot sal from emp b, where a dot sal is less than b dot sal. So this would simply return the fifth max salary. Okay, so now try to generalize this. Generic SQL. So you can choose whatever I want to. So I would just simply okay, that's okay. A dot salary. Here you simply put n minus 1 equals. That's all it's needed. So if your n is whatever the max salary, all right. So this would return the fifth max salary, whatever it is. For example, output will be 105 Shukla and 30K. Okay, so fifth max salary less than. So 4 times you come between. So that is a math. Okay. So simply, I just put a note here to calculate nth max sal, or whatever nth max, not it doesn't have to be max salary all the time. Specify a number n minus 1, simple, in the place of in here. So n minus 1 will be in the place of where condition. Okay, so you can have many examples. I will give it for your homework. Get the top 3 max salary from emp table. Okay, so you can write this homeworks. And one more is example, get the details of employees who are not managers. Okay, we have seen one example with the self join. Remember, get the details of employees with their managers and the manager names. Okay, so you could write the same for get the details of employees who are not the managers. That means the manager type. So the employee type is clerk and all those, including managers, are there, right? So you should simply look for those employees who are not managers and just write it. And write this, get the details of employees who are managers for different or multiple employees. Multiple is in the sense not just one employee, he has to have at least 2 candidates working under him. And you can go on and on. So just try to get the SQL queries right for these and try to execute them hopefully in the today's session, or then we will if you get the answers. If you don't get the answers, let me know. I'll tell you how to write. I will correct basically. Okay, so we will go for few operators and then finish next 1 hour. So the operators, like in Java also we use operators, right? Math operators and logical operators and plus minus, multiplication divided by, or anything which matches like regular expressions, right? So in order to retrieve the data from table based on the condition, we can use a where clause and select statement. The whichever satisfies that where condition will return the output based on the where condition that's specified. So on the same grounds, to improve or enhance this functionality of the where condition, to retrieve the complex data from the table, we can attach different operators to the where condition. So the most frequently used where operators in the where condition in the SQL query are like operator, in operator, any operator, and between operator. So what is a like operator? So like, whichever satisfy, it just doesn't point to the one single thing, so it points to the whole range. So it is used to retrieve table data by applying condition in character column that satisfies specific style. So like whichever satisfy particular pattern or style, or you can say it's equivalent to a regular expression in Java. So all that pattern which is known as wildcard character, okay, so we'll return the multiple sets of data, multiple records. Okay, so we'll jump to the condition. How would I define this? So okay, so without defining it, we'll directly go. Okay, so that would be easy. One is like, and syntax will be character expression. You can also use not, which is optional, and like, and you mention pattern. Okay, so wildcard characters are used in the case of like. So which wildcard characters? And description and example. So wildcard character most widely used is percentage. And percentage is any number of characters. And example would be select star from EMP, where ename, like I want to list out all those employee names whose first name starts with S. Okay, So I would simply write ename like. It not necessarily to it doesn't have to be all caps, so I'm just putting it to indicate it's a keyword, the keyword, and s percentage. And remember, it's a case sensitive, so whatever starts with capital S only will be listed out. So if you want to, if all the employees names are mentioned in small letter, in capital, small case in the beginning, then you have to put this, but initial capital will be there for the first name, last name. So okay, so that would return all the employees whose last name or first name, name, first full name starts with capital letter. So percentage, then underscore. So this will indicate single character, any single. Select start from EMP, where ename like a, let's say, or let's use yes underscore u percentage. Okay, so what does it say? What does it return? Tell me. Anyone? What does this return? So it represents single character.
Your name is S and you that time they collected and then this result is coming.
Right. If there is an employee name called Shukla, so that's what return. So basically I'm saying yes, starting with S, then there is one character. It can be anything, HU or AU, whatever, and U, and then whatever. Okay, percentage means whatever. So this has to be single character, anything, SAU, SBU, SCU, HU. So whatever matches with it will return all those. So it basically returns represents a single character. So, and a single bracket, any single character within that range will be specified with bracket open, bracket close. Single char within the range. Okay, so select star from blah blah blah. I'll directly jump to ename like. So you have to put something inside. Yes, yay. I'll write the query partly and you tell me the output. A to D, all right. Then percentage. Percentage means any number of characters later, but I'm putting restriction for the beginning. Okay, so starting, okay, starting from A to D, then whatever. So not just A. So I'm just broadening the range. It just restricts the starting point to S, right? Now I'm saying starting letter can be A, B, C, D, then whatever. So how do you translate into English? So list out all those employee details whose name starts with A or B or C or D. So that is a equivalent query in English. Okay. So negativity of negation of this is you simply use caret symbol. That would be negation. Okay, flower bracket is not necessary. So this would indicate any single character not in the range. Okay, so select star from EMP name like. So I want those employee details whose name do not start with A and D. Okay, that's my query. So how do I write this query? Just indicate caret symbol. That would be just like exclamation symbol for not in regular expression or Java. So that would be for SQL percentage code. Okay, so these are all like operators, and this is the like operators, and these are all the wildcard characters that we can use with like operators. Okay, so you can play with them a little more, and we will jump to the next one, in operator. Okay, so in operator, like the name suggests, is used for retrieving or comparing column data within the set of those values. The values can be provided explicitly or with the use of a select statement. So let's see the example directly. Syntax will look like this. You write the expression, and not is optional, in is a keyword, then list of values here, or select statements. Okay, so not syntax would not give much detail, so only the examples would. So let's take an example. So select star from EMP where salary in, instead of equals or less than, I would simply go for in operator. Okay, that is the only. So I want the employees details whose salary it is not also, I mean, I'm not specifying a specific I'm not specifying it is less than or equals. I'm not comparing. I'm simply specifying certain values, and whoever have those values, just return me those details. That's what I'm saying. So I want those employee salary details whose salary is either 100K, 75K, or 50K. Okay, that's it. So in where salary either is equals to this or this or this. Okay, so there are three equal statements combining together would work with in. Okay, so you got the point. If I write using equals, I have to write select star from EMP where salary equals 100K and salary equals 75K and salary equals 50K. So all this combined, I can average into salary, and so in is useful for such queries. Okay, so another example. Okay, I'll write this in English also, then you can practice or later refer. So select, get the details of employees whose salary are as specified. So you have to specify the salary, so that, and get the details of, let's take example class table, classes which are having students. Okay, that means we have already seen, right, which are having which class have enrolled students. Some classes do not have anything enrolled, like database or Java, right? So how do you write the query for that? SQL would be select star from class 1 where class ID, right? We have class ID or class number in. Okay, simply you specify, then you write another. This is combination of in and inner query, right? Simple inner query, subquery. Select CID from students. Okay, so this would return all the details of the class who in which the students, at least one student has been enrolled. Example, another one, get the details of class which are not having students, negation. So you can easily write. I will copy the same thing, but get the details of classes which are not having. So how do you modify this? Tell me quick. So I want details of the class which are not having, nobody is enrolled. Okay, first one is enrolled, which are having students. Second one is negation. So select CAD from student, where you have to just put a condition in the innermost query. CAD is not null. So if class ID is not null, then they are not. Okay. So when do you use not? Not while using not necessarily has to be capital. The values to be checked must not contain any null value. So just remember that. And then we'll jump to third one is any. Okay, any operator by meaning its definition, it says it's used to check column data with a set of values, but we can apply any type of comparison. So any represents, so syntax would look like expression flower bracket less than or greater than or not less than. So here exclamation represents not, or exclamation not greater than, that means less than or equal to, automatically it implies. Okay, not equal to or equal to, so and so, any, and then your select statement. Okay, so let's list out employees who are having salary greater than at least okay, how do you write at least any other salary of employees. So how would you write the SQL for this? Select star from emp where salary is greater than any of the salaries of the employees. So greater than any of the salaries of any employees. So in a way it's just max from employees. So this would return select salary from employee. It will keep on checking any salary and the greatest salary will be returned. So in a way this is a different way of saying max salary. So I would simply return note equals any. Okay, this means in. Okay, so both are similar. And not equals any, this means what? Not in. So that's a different way of saying in any equals any means in, and not equals any means not in. So the difference between any and in is with in operator, the values to be checked can be provided explicitly or by using the select statement, whereas any operator, the values to be checked must be provided with the use of select statement only. So that is, you can explore more about any. So just put any and put followed by the select statement, and before that you play with this greater than, less than, not greater than, not less than, equals, not equals symbols. So it's easy, nothing, it's not rocket science, so you can practice more on that. So between is used to check column data with a range of values. So it's mostly used for the salaries or dates. Okay, so and so employees joined between so and so dates, or so and so employees' salary is between so and so. It's kind of range. Fourth one is between. Syntax would be expression between. So between two values, so value 1 and between and or together, always value 2. Okay, so you can say between or between and, sometimes between and operator. Example would be select get employee details whose salary is in between specified salaries. Okay, so SQL would be, how do you write SQL for this? Select star from emp where salary. Okay, so that's the expression, select star from employee or select so and so columns from employee where salary between value 1 and value 2. So you always have to specify. So I want salaries between 25k and 75k. Okay, so this would return particular range of employees of belonging to particular range of salary given. So 25k and so and so. Okay, and there are some, okay, we have half an hour more. I'll cover some functions. That's about the operators. Only 4 operators in SQL. One is like operator, in operator, any operator, and between operator. You can practice more on this just to get your hands on. So functions are, say, built-in functions, because user-defined functions are the functions which are used in PL SQL. So we are not going to that. So that's why we would only discuss about the built-in functions. So what are the built-in functions which are already defined, predefined, along that comes with the software. So along with installation of SQL Server or Oracle, by default some predefined functions will be loaded in the master directory, master database, and these predefined functions are called built-in functions. And when and why these will be used, we will discuss. And based on the type of these built-in functions, they are categorized into 4 ways. Okay, so one is aggregate. We already know this, we are just discussing again. Aggregate functions, you already know aggregate functions or what are. Second is numeric functions. Okay, and third is date and time functions. Fourth is string functions. So mostly these are used in select statements. That's why I'm discussing about this. Okay, so otherwise it's not necessary unless and until they are used in the select queries, because mostly in database testing, either it's manual or automation, 99% of time we are going to use only select statement, and all these operators and inner queries, subqueries, and before that joins, and right now built-in functions are used in select queries only. Okay, that's DML or D, data retrieval language, which is just separate language category for only select statement, because it retrieves the data, right? Okay, so aggregate functions. Okay, without wasting time, I'll just finish in half an hour and you can practice more. So aggregate functions, what are the aggregate functions? When they can be used. So they can be used in entire data of column. So the output will be single value only. Okay. So what are the different aggregate functions? We have count function, max aggregate function, min function. These are not the operators. These are the functions. That's why you pass something to it. Okay. So whatever takes some parameter or input is considered as a function, and which also returns, might return or might not return something. Okay, so min, average, AVG, and sum. Okay, so let's take one example for each. Okay, so I want count of salaries from employees. So how do you write select query? Select count of salary from employee. Okay. And I want max salary from employee. So like I said, this will only return single. All right. Output will be single value. It's not different columns. It's just one single cell value. Okay, just remember that. Okay, I want max salary. Select max. Function name is max. It takes an argument. You can enter anything, max of hire date, max of name also. Okay, it basically compares between ASCII characters, the alphabetical or date cell from EMP, and same thing for this. Min of salary and average, same thing. Sum of salaries. Okay, what is the average of salary? Everybody knows, right? Average of salary is the total of all salaries of all employees divided by the number of employees. Okay, so that's average. Sum is the total sum of all the salaries of all the employees. So that is the total sum of all the salaries. All right, so numeric functions, this is nothing complicated about it, so I'm just leaving it for you guys to practice more on that. And numeric functions are different math functions, square root of functions, raised to the power of something. So these all math functions. I don't need to define much. So SQRT means square root of the function, or square root of the number. Okay, so how do you write? Select SQRT of specific value. So what is the output for this? So it's a math function. You can replace 25 with the specific value also. Select salary from employee. Okay, max salary from employee and max salary square root you can calculate. So just an example. So what is the output? Anybody knows math? Anybody enrolled in math? 5. Okay, this QU square of function. Okay, so this is a QUARE square of 5. What is the square of 5? Square of 5. 25. Okay, if I want to raise something to the power of something, use power function. Select power of 2 raised to the power of 3. What could be the output? Two raised to the power of 3. 8. round. Okay, so this gives the round up value, rounded number, so rounded up to the nearest decimal value or integral value. So I'll directly jump to the query, select round off 12.348 nearest to 2 decimals. Okay, what would be the output of this? So always 3 digits. I want only 2 digits after the decimal, and check the third decimal is greater than 5, then increase the number by 1. If it is less than, that's it, you don't take. So 34, okay, 12.34, then 8 is greater than half, right? 5. So I have to increase this by 1, so 35. So the output will be 12.35. So that's how you round up, right? And if I want one more example, select round off. Okay, you can tell me this 12.34. Let's take 2. Okay, now rounded to 2 decimal points. Okay, what would be the output? What is the output for this?
12.34.
Right, because it's less than half, so you don't increase by 1. That's it. Okay, then ceiling and floor. Okay, everybody knows about this, right? So what is the ceiling value? It is the nearest higher integer value for the given number. So select ceiling. I'm just giving one example for each, so you take care of the rest. Okay, so since I have to move very fast, we'll take to 12.345. okay, so what is the ceiling of this value? It's a nearest higher integer value. So you have to avoid the entire decimal point. Okay, now just check after the decimal point, this is less than 5, right? 345 is actually 0.5, less than 0.5, so you don't increase. So is it right? Nearest higher integral value. Okay, so you have to increase. Floor is the other way around, right? Okay, so let's define floor, then ceiling, that we can understand. So floor is, okay, let me write it down. So this is to retrieve nearest smaller integer value. Okay, select, if I say floor of 12.345. okay, so what would be the output for this one? Smaller integer value. So 12.345, so 0.345 is less than 0.5, so I have to go for the smaller, so the output will be 12. No decimal fractional portion of the number, just integral portion, integer value only. Okay, so this is nearest higher integer value. Okay, so select ceiling of 12.345 returns highest. The 12.345 next highest decimal is 13. So ceiling, always compare it to ceiling and floor. Ceiling is on top of your room, right? Floor is on the beneath the ground. So just go with the English understanding. Okay, you can have fun with more of this, and let's jump to the date on time functions. These are important in the sense that you get to tend to work with date times, especially when there are in each table there are like timestamps, create timestamp, update timestamp. So you need to consider those when you're writing select statement. So we will look at these. So get date is one such function which simply returns the system current, system date and time. So if I write select star select get date, its output will be 2018. It's always in YYY, MMDD, HH, MM, SS, and milliseconds format. Okay, so I'll just give the example. You can figure out from there. 11:25, and right now 11:41, 43.495. This is the millisecond portion. Okay, so that would be the output for this. It's an example. So this varies from database to database. In Oracle, you have to write like this: select sysdate from GL, right? So everybody knows about this. So this will return the same, but system date only. So until this. Okay, so you can have more, like I want only certain portion of date time. I don't want the time, I just want the year or something. So you can have date part. So this will return only certain part and in certain format. So I want in MMDDYY format, let's say. So you can also specify using date part format. So it is used to retrieve corresponding part of the date based on the specified date format. So let's have a look at syntax: date part, format, and date. So if I give, everybody knows, right? DD stands for days, MM stands for months, YY years, and HH hours, MI for minutes, SS for seconds, MS for milliseconds, and DW for day of the week, DY for the day of the year. Okay, so I'll directly jump to the example. One example would be sufficient. Example: select date part, okay, DD, and get date. Get date always returns a current date, current date and time. Okay, so that's complete date and time including milliseconds. So it's a complete timestamp, you can say. This is how the timestamp looks like in database also. And developer also inserts the timestamp using the get date only. So get date. Okay, what would be the output for this one? So date is DDE stands for date part only, right? So what is the date part in the current timestamp? Yes. What is the current date?
25th.
November 25th.
Example. I want to retrieve only current hour. What is hour? What would I write? Date part of HH for hour. So I didn't give you all the details because of the time. So that would return current is 11. Okay, so do you want me to give all the details of what DD means, what HH means, or can you figure out? Format. Okay, I'll take it as yes or no. I don't know what the silence means. Format and output. Okay, so I'll just mention here. DD means days. MM means months. YY means years. HH means hours. Minutes, not MM, because we already use months, so MI used for minutes. SS for seconds, and milliseconds, MS. I can also retrieve the current millisecond. It's not necessarily, but it's good to know. And current day of the week can be retrieved by DW. And current day of the year, day of the DW. Okay, so these are not few of them, so you can Google for more. Okay, next, date name. So date name functions, like the name suggests, it will return the name of the date. So date part syntax will be date name of date part and date. So this will take the date part as a one of the parameters and date as the second parameter, actual date. So actual date can be any date. You can also hard code it, or you can just the current timestamp by inserting the get date. So it's up to the query that you're working on. Example would be select date name, and I want day of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, in the current date. So current date will be get date. So what it would return? Click. What is the output? What is the current day of the week? Sunday. Select date name. I will just change and ask you. Okay, so what is the output? What does it say, and what is it?
November.
November, correct. Okay, so I'll repeat this for a few more and ask you. What is the output? What does it say and what is the output? So look at this table. What is DD means?
25th.
25th, yeah. Okay, so what is the day of the year?
2018. 2018.
Okay, no, day of the year is also same. Sunday only. Day of the year, not to the. It 2018 is for YY. It's
Day.
okay. Instead of get date, I can also give specific date. Like high date is, let's say, 10/21, and let's say 77. Okay. So what would be the day of the year for this one? So you have to look at the calendar for manually, but this will return automatically without having to look at the calendar, right? So in the 1977, October 21st, what would be the day? Correct. So that would be Friday or something. So you can have a look at this. Oh, can we go back in time from here? Okay, that you figure out. I think we don't have time for that. Okay, so the realistic example will be get how many employees joined in each weekday from EMP table. Okay, so that's a query. How do you write for this one? Select date name, date of the week, day of the week, and hide date is one of the columns in the employee table, right? And count star from EMP. You have to use group by and date name, day of the week, and hire date. So this will return all those employees who joined in each week. I am grouping by each week and displaying the output. Okay, you can also use date add function. Okay, so it is used to add the number of day to part of the date based on the specified format. So syntax, this is a category. Let's colon. Syntax would be date add and date part, how many number you want to add, and date. So example would be select date add. I want DD part of it and add 3 days, okay, to the current date. So you can also replace the date by any date. I'm just taking the current date for the sake of simplicity. You can take hire date also, that would be more realistic. So I simply want to add what would be the next 3 days date. Okay, so that is my query. So if I want to add 3 days to the current date, what would be it? So the output would be, what would be the output, including time, seconds and milliseconds, that's all fine, but just for the 25th, 26th, 27, 26, 27, 28, right? 28 is the one. So it would return 2018, 11, 28, then HHMI, blah, blah, blah. So you can also write, this is an example, get the weekday name, which was 10 days before the current timestamp. Okay, current date, get date will return the current timestamp. Okay, so how do you write for this one? Select date name, day of the week I want, and date add is the function. So it's getting more complicated. I am passing the date add and I want date part and 10 days before. So I have to subtract 10. So you can also pass negative integer, and to the current date, that would be get date. Okay, so this will return whatever that value is. So you figure out that. Okay, you can also minus the date, that is date diff. So it is used to get the difference between two dates. So for example, the query would be, what is the difference of dates between so and so employees and so employees? You can use date diff. So syntax will be date diff and mention date part, comma date 1, comma date 2. So I want the difference between 2 days. How many number of days are in between, including its you can also specify just days or months or years or hours, how many years are in between. So you can get example, select date diff, and I want the date part only. It all depends on what date part you want. You want only days difference, or you want to know all hours also. You can mention HH, and you can mention date 1. So let's say one person is hired in 11/15/2006 and another employee is hired on 6/7/07. So date format you have to change. Okay, then this would return how many number of days are in between these two, November 15, 2006 and June 7th, 2007. Okay, so this would be your output, days only. So and so days, X days. So you replace that X. And you can have more examples also. Let's jump to the string functions directly. We have 4 minutes left. Okay, so length function is important. It is used to retrieve the number of characters in the specified string. Okay, so the syntax would be, example would be directly select length of, let's say, SQL server. Okay, what is the length of this? 1 2 3 4 including the space, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so length of the string, just like in Java. So we'll learn about Java when it comes, but this is for the database. And you want uppercase of all the characters, then it will return all in uppercase. So select upper of SQL, all mentioned in the small case, right? Now if I select uppercase of so and so, it would return all in capital. and lowercase same thing. I'm putting select lower of, let's say I have one uppercase and remaining lowercase. So what would be the output? Output will be all lowercase. And I can also trim, left trim. So it is used to remove left side of the spaces, whatever spaces it has, and trim it. So select L trim. For example, I have I have space before on the left side and I want to remove it. So the query would be L trim and it will simply return SQL remove this. And you can also R trim. R trim means right side. So that you'll see. And you can also have character index. These were most extensively used in Java, but in database also you can. So it is used to find the position of character in the given string. So example would be, okay, I'll give the syntax first. Char index, set string first, and second parameter is string and starting locations. Example, select char index. Okay, so I want the first occurrence starting position of S. Okay, sorry, S in the search string SQL server. Okay, and starting location is 1. I can also specify like starting location is 2 or 3 or 1. So what is the position of S in the SQL server? Starting from 1, position is 1. Okay, in Java it is 0, but in here it's 1. So just an FYI. Okay, I can also mention starting position differently. And what would be the output? You tell me. Okay, what would be the output here? Starting from 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, what is the position of this? Okay, 1, 2, 3. So I cannot say first position. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. So fourth is the next position of S. So output will be 4. So likewise, you can play with the char. Most important is substring. So substring, you can extract a part of a string by mentioning starting position and length, and or just starting position. So the syntax will be substring. You give string and starting position and length. Example will be select substring. I will take just one example for each, so you can practice more later. We will take the same string SQL server. Starting position is 4 and length is 6. So what would be the output for this? 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 4 is space and 6. It has to have 6 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a space. Okay, just to avoid this space, I will make it 5 and 7 so that you can see clearly, because you cannot see space here. That will be simply server, right? So the realistic example will be get the details of employees who belong, like who has Gmail. Okay, so let's imagine in the employee table there is a column called email, and email, some people have Gmail, some people have Yahoo. Okay, so I want the details of employees who has Gmail only. Okay, so how do you write the select query for that one? select star from EMP, where substring then comes with the picture substring. Email, now I'll provide character index, and basically for each email we have @ symbol, right? And character index in the email, and starting position is 1. Obviously you have to take 1 by default, otherwise. Then add 1 to it, then length of email. So this would return gmail.com. So let's say your column email has these details: shukla@gmail.com, okay, russell@yahoo.com. So this will return only gmail.com. Okay, so this is all we can use in our database testing, whether it be automation testing or manual testing. So rest, there are different chapters which are not very much useful for our database testing, like indexes, and indexes are not much useful, and rest of the advanced topics. PL SQL is definitely not useful because we are not going to use PL SQL. And stored procedures, no, because that would definitely confuse you. Unless you want to pursue your career in database administration, they are not useful. And triggers, okay, triggers are not useful. Normalization and all those things are not useful. So I would end this database testing right here. End of database testing. Okay. So hopefully, Russell, you can continue from here. I don't know whether you're going to do lab session on database or manual testing itself.
Yes, Sangam, I will continue with manual testing.
Okay, fine.
And database will.
I would recommend you continue database testing after your manual testing, because you have the notes, right? You can just go to installed on your system. You can just run this and go through the examples. That way they get more hands-on experience. You know what I mean? And just to give you a heads up to you guys, next class I will start the web services testing. So I mentioned in the last class, right? Get the 2 softwares installed. One is what is it? SoapUI. Another is Postman. Okay, everybody install the software. How about Bhaumik, Shukla? Did you install the software? I guess you did, right?
I already installed. Yeah.
You already installed, okay. So the SoapUI is just for 14 days. So you installed like 1 week ago. We still have 7 more days. I mean, we just take 2 days for that one. That's sufficient. Then we'll jump to Core Java. Then we'll start the automation. Okay, that's my plan. Okay, so I'll make the Russell presenter, and you can continue with the lab session right now. Okay, don't forget to practice on database, otherwise you will forget. Okay, say yes.
Thank you. Bye.
No, I want you to say yes to, if you practice, say yes.
Yes. Practice is the most important. Otherwise.
Okay, I am making Russell presenter. Okay, Russell, I think you are the presenter now.
Hey Sangam.
Yeah, Russell.
Hey Sangam.
Can you hear
Can you
me?
make a presenter only Russell, because I have sorry,
Oh, Russell Islam is different.
Russell and Russell Islam.
I made Russell Islam presenter. Okay. Okay. Russell Islam, can you make Russell presenter? I made Russell Islam presenter. Okay, so are both Russell Islam and Russell same? Are you the same person or different? Okay, I don't have control right now because I made Russell Islam presenter. Okay, so take it from him. Okay, but I already had made you presenter, other Russell. Okay, so you have to end the session here and start the session, I guess, because Russell Islam is the presenter right now, and you have to make yourself presenter from there. All right. Okay, you take care of that right now. Okay, I'm leaving.
Okay. Let's meet. Hello. Are you guys able to see my screen? Oh, okay. Are you guys able to see my screen? Are you guys able to see my screen? I think slow, right? Okay. Check with class. One question is last class we did for writing test cases. Do you have guys any question about that? Which one you did not understand or we need to review again? Then just let me know if you guys any doubt about those last class. I'm talking about the manual testing test cases. Oh,
Can you
okay, okay.
explain little bit more boundary value analysis?
Yes. So last time we step to step test case, right? I discussed with the steps what is the test case and then what the details it will be. So before writing the test cases, what is the important things we need to check it. So based on like everything, when we start the writing test cases, we need to read the business requirement document or BRD or BRS, a business AI specification, right? Business requirement specification. So this is our blueprint. This is the blueprint of developer as well. So they follow the same document. different companies, sometimes they put the repository in their QC or in the rally, or they have a PDF version, requirement document or Word document version. So you need to take it out, print out, or go through the pages, because it initially it could be huge, but when you write down the test case, starting the test cases, then particular function you are focusing on. So you need to understand first the application process or functionality, then you can document it for writing the test cases. Why we're writing test cases? Because the same person, it is not like always is not happens like same person will execute their test cases. Sometimes you are writing your test cases and some other member or other colleague may execute it your test case. So we need to write down the test case we already discussed such a way so they will not come to you, or, oh, can you go through again, I'm not understanding your steps, or some steps is missing. So every steps means every mouse and keyboard action need to be documented. Then people will understand how to navigate, because all are navigating when you are going through, right? Last time we did, we are following some templates. Suppose standard template is there, but it is not always every companies is follow. Is company to company template will be different, because it's manager to manager also. So application process, a lot of things it could be added, but minimum it should be like test case ID, test case name should be there, and then test steps data should be there, expected actual result should be there, and then pass or fail or status should be there, and then remarks or comments it will be there. But some other things like a precondition or some other one is like okay, created by, if you have a huge team member, then created by could be there, or created time could be there, or execute time could be there. So or environment could be there. Suppose like you are working on all test cases on Windows 7, and then Windows 10 is now new, but your application is not ready for Windows 10, but they are migrating, they're trying to change their functionality to supporting Windows 10. So same test case, same set of test case you need to execute on Windows 10. uh, all test cases will be executed, but that time how you track it, which one is executed on Win 7 or Win 10, that time environment or operating system column you can add, and then you can put it their information like Windows 7 only, both, or Windows 10. It depends on like your company to company. So that's why suppose some company they're using like a positive test cases is one Excel sheet, or negative test cases in on another Excel sheet. So it is depends on, but if you are standard wise, if you know the common columns and then how to put it, then you know. So those are overview I'm doing, because some people are it might be you might miss it a lot of things, but we have this document. I will recommend that you go walk through again, and then let me know if you have another question as well. This is like I'm saying like the overview for writing the test case. But I gave I most of the student I will say, right, just start writing the application, any application, like it could be flight application or hotels application or any retail application or pharmaceutical application, which one you feel comfortable, or any restaurant types of application, food application. Just start, because all application is mostly common things. All are web application we are talking about. So all web application has the common stuffs like pictures, links, text box, button, check box, radio button, drop down. All are combination, but their functionality is different, right? So if you are getting familiar how to start writing, and then you will make a lot of mistake. If you are not, then it's better for you, but it will come, you need to review and then make it correct by yourself, and then we can walk through your written test cases, and then if I find out, oh, that should be better way you can write, then I can suggest you, okay, not this way, follow these steps. So that way you will get more confidence when you're going to job, because nobody will, as a tester, you are going over there as an experienced person. This is cream and butter. So nobody will teach you how to write, but it should be, the document should be there. Sometimes if you are lucky, maybe on your project whole life, maybe you might not need to write down any test cases, because maybe another member or previously they already written, or maybe offshore team is there, they are writing the manual test cases, and you are just running the test case. So a lot of varieties it could be. So a different position, different situation, different role you need to work on. But that should be give you more confidence if you start writing. If you are ignoring it and then you are doing the job and then you are writing a test cases, then when they review, or maybe they will find out like, oh, you are not experienced person, or you maybe you are writing 5 test cases and 3 got reason, because it is not actual good test case. So that's why we need to practice it. It is not very hard, but it seems like easy also when you see the lecture. But if you are start writing, you need to practice, because it has certain steps you need to follow, and then you will get confidence after that.
Yeah,
So that's
manual, Russell,
this.
manual test writing is
Last week I took
really
the class,
complicated.
but I didn't see anybody send me any email or any example of the test cases. So I'll recommend it to you. Take it seriously, and then start writing your application or anything. So last time we walked through the pizzahut.com, right? So that one also you can start with on that application. Just for one page, right? How many test cases you can write down? Just let us know. Okay, this is the test cases. Oh, it could be valid, it could be invalid, but you need to start documenting. And and also I will recommend it to you. Just start and then we can review. So now, last time also you already knows, like we have some confusion about when we need to write down the test cases and when we need to start actually. So before that, I wanted to share with you how it look like the business requirement document. So I have suppose I'm not printing or documenting the real all pages. Just example, one project, like couple of pages. Just want to share with you guys like how it look like. So business requirement document could be like that. So you see here, suppose this is the layout. You see break relationship. So this is the way we have a OK button, we have a cancel button, we have cross button on the top, and then there is a checkbox on the left, and then this is called. I'm not assuming you will understand everything, but I'm giving you the overview how it look like. So on the first one, it is saying breaking relationship. From a work list, create or search tab, open item area, relationship window, select the relationship you want to break, action menu button appears. So action menu is like, sometimes there is a 3 dot, and then this is our application or a sample application. So they already saying like what it will be, what is the action. When we click action menu, and then menu will be pop up. Suppose there is a 10 items is there, but the one item is break relationship. So and then they select, and then following will occur. You see one of the following occurs. The relationship is broken. For the details is there is another link is 48 page. We are not going through. If multiple parents exist, the break relationship will appear. Use select all to pick up every parent or select individually. So this is on the bottom, they have a multiple choice, and then which one they want to make it relationship break, they just select and then press OK. So that way, if you have this kinds of business requirement document, then you will understand the functionality of break relationship. When we click the menu, and then when we select break relationship option from the menu, and then if it is a one items, then it will not pop up. If we have a multiple parents is there, then you have a choice which one you want to break it. So that is crystal clear is saying, but I'm not assuming you will understand, because when you see real project or real application, then you have overview how it look like. But that document is good enough for that break relationship functionality. So based on that, you need to write down the test cases for break relationship functionality. So verify break functionality relationship. So one test case for one child, and then second test case is write down for multiple child. So it will cover you for all scenarios, like all functionality. This data will be different events. Suppose like you are choosing middle one, and then it could a folder look like icon, right? So you can run it multiple times, the same test cases with a different set of steps or data, right? So those the things. Suppose like you are logging directly relationship. So what is the business rules? They're already written here, business rules. So you need to, before you write down the test cases, you need to read this document, and then you will understand. If I'm assuming like you are understanding 60%, some terms or technological familiar with, right? It could be happen. I'm not nobody's assuming 100%, because it's written by some other people, right? Business analyst or some other people could be written. So maybe what he's talking about you are not fully understand. So in that case, what you need to do as a tester, you need to go through that person or BA or your developer. You can ask him, feel free to ask him, can you tell me like what is the functionality? It could be like when user click here or there, then what is the expected result. If you're not clear, you can discuss with or chat with each other, or ping him, and then get the couple of minutes to review this document with your BA or with your developer or your manager. Okay, but don't get blind. Don't start writing if you are not clear, because our job is inspection, right? We need to make sure as our job is software is working as expected, and it is mostly bug free. But we are not saying 100% bug free software in the world is exist, but minimize as much as we can, and then immediately our proactive is like before, when it is on development, and then if you are writing the test cases, and then initially as much as soon you find out the issues or defect, then the cost will be reduced. Because otherwise, if it is going to in production, and then a lot of process is there, release will be there, and then if that functionality or that defect will come to you, and then not you, like it will go to the development, and then they will fix it, then you will retest it, and then lot of process for single steps. You will get when it happens, like it's cost like 10 times more average. So that's why we need to reduce this. So our job is as much as early we can test and then find out the problem. If it is not, then it is fine. If it is, so that's our job. So this is look like that they will see. Suppose like, okay, there is a pop-up is there, right? When they're clicking here, suppose like see here what it will be. If you click unlock direct relationship, there is another window, right? So another functionality, and then the following message will appear. So your test case expected result should be what? Expected result should be like pop-up window will open, and then this verify this message is there, and then you have a what checkbox, and then do not show this warning again, and then okay, no or yes button is there, right? So this is whole thing zero expected result, and then you need to mention it as the validation point, like oh, this is the one validation point pop up, and then second one is text should be there, and then for third one is checkbox should be there with the text, and then there is a button yes no will be there on the pop-up. So sometimes all pop-up is not not working as same as like regular wise, like it could be without button, it could be a message, it could be a checkbox, or it could be some information message, or any yes or no button or cancel. So it is depends on your pop-up message based on your functionality. So that's why we need to document it. Like suppose when I execute your test case, and then I will know, oh, okay, this is the pop-up message will be a pop-up, and then that is the validation, like, oh, this text should be there. Why you are doing this? Because suppose like maybe they are might missing some word, or it could be suppose like the capital letter or a smaller letter has some font issues, or it could be the text display issues, right? You need to mention also, like something you already know, like usability testing, right? That time suppose your background color is one, and then foreground color is pretty much close, and then people are not seeing properly. Suppose don't think all people are have a good eyes, like sometimes they have a problem with the color blind, right? Not some standard is there. So what is the background should be, and then what is the foreground should be. So if it is not mentioning in your requirement document, also you need to check it. Because if you say you are clear about this, but I find out this is difficult to see because font is very small, is hard to read, and then we need to take care. And then business requirement does not say here, okay, font should be 12 or font should be 11 pixel, right? Or what is the size it would be, or which font, it is not mentioning. But at least as a like experienced tester, we knows this is the standard. So those we need to, sometimes business requirement document is functionalities there, lot of issues which will come because lot of bugs also contain on the requirement document is not clear, or requirement document is not properly written. It happens on the real time. So if it is not clear business requirement, and then developer will definitely forgot, or developer will not follow the process, because whatever business requirement is there, they will follow, and then they will build their application based on this, because this is their blueprint, and we also follow the same. And then if it is defect, definitely sometimes if it is not clear, then your defect is rejected. They will say, no, this is not a bug, because business requirement is specified. Then what but it is a bug, and then what that time it will be happen. Then we need to, as a team wise, we need to discuss, and then maybe if they need to update their business requirement document based on that, definitely they will do that. So it happens sometimes. I work like one company, like 18 years old application. They, in that time, they have nothing. They did not follow any process SDLC properly, and then what happens is they don't have any business requirement document code. So we are doing reverse engineering. So old application we open, and then they are converting to desktop to web application, and then both we open, and then we follow which what is the desktop application's behavior, and then what is the web application behavior, and then we just document it. So it happens, a lot of things you need to happen, depends on your application process, or application status, project status. So that's why I'm saying to you, this is the document will be. So there is a lot of things they might have is with the screenshot, because before developing they have Photoshop, and then they are doing all those things. Suppose like here on this screen, you see here is the attachment. That's a clip is there, right? So attachment icon should be like that, and then they have a expand all, link is there, and then this is the timestamp is on the top, and then suppose here is the refresh button on the circle is here, and a lot of things, but all will tell you, if you click unlock direct relationship, then following occurs. So this is sibling task and entry point task are unlocked and released from your worklist tab. So that is like a, it will very who are written this, sometimes it is more understandable, sometimes is I'm saying functional requirement or some other, maybe it is more technical, sometimes you will get lost. And then how then you need to discuss with the developer or your lead or your BA who written those things. For example, I'm saying how there is the error message, a user form error. So this is the error message is there. So continue button is there. There is no yes or no button. So continue. So continue C is capital, right? Those you need to mention it. What is the button color? What is the foreground color? Even though it is not saying all details, but on the picture it look like that. Document will be tell you everything. Suppose you see here is just for suspension. Suspend how long? The days and hours and minutes. I'm not saying what is the suspend function used for, but at least the layout you have, how it look like. Okay, there is the 3 checkbox, and then there is the 2 drop down list is there, and for the comment section we have a input box, and then we can write down the region code or region. So this is the application or business requirement document. It will be look like. So all you will give you the details. That's why I just wanted to how look like as a business requirement document. You already heard that this is our project, couple of pages in the middle. It is not is not available resource I can share with you, but it is not legal though. But at least for your questions, for your experience wise, like I can give you heads up, like okay, this is the business requirement document. It will be like that. Okay, and then last day of so last time when I give the lecture about the test cases, so we had some confusion like execution times. So this graph will give you the clear picture. Suppose SDLC we already knows the software development life cycle, right? Steps is first and system design, and then after that coding or implementation will be done, and then after that testing. This is for developer, right? They also do the unit testing, and then they deployment. They deploy it from the development code to QA, and QA they are testing, and then they put into the production. So this is the SDLC we already knows. But in that case, what is our rules? We are following software testing lifecycle. So in that time, business requirement document is there, right? So when they are starting with the analyzing, also go through the requirement review as well. So what we did previously, just a couple of minutes ago, we just go through the business document. And then in that time, when they are doing their system design, how many developer they need, or which application class or coding architecture they will design for development. In the meantime, we'll do our testing plan. So testing plan means test cases, test prerequisite software you need to install. So all those is under the planning. And then test design should be written when they are writing their code or implement. In the meantime, we will finish our test case. In the design, under the test design, the test scenario, test cases, and then should be done. So when they're done, they're testing their unit test. And then when they do their unit test, and then after when they fix, when they run developer unit test, and then in the meantime, when they will give it to us, the code for testing, we can start with the execution. Until we cannot execute when it is not ready. If it is implementation stage, we cannot execute because they did not finish it yet. So all developers already knows. And then when they deploy, actually from their development to the QA, we our testing. And then even though test closure means when we finish, right? This is going to be test closure. So that graph will give you the overview how it look like when we start. Because last time we also saw it like sprint to sprint wise. It could be we start together, but we are not using same code. Suppose like development, if it is a big project, if it is a big people, big team. Suppose I worked in 15 people was in the team, and then what in that time it is very hard to coordinate, right? When it is deploy, and then if your code is not working properly, and then everybody cannot work. So 15 people will stand alone, so sitting their place. So it is cost going to be huge. So in that time, we use actually the sprint. You are familiar or not, I'm not sure, but sprint means like iteration. Suppose development iteration was 22, and then we follow 21 because one step before, because their current cycle is not finished yet. So is one iteration behind because they already deployed. The iteration 21 is finished. So iteration 21, when they finish, suppose like today is 25, 2 days they finish it. Then from tomorrow, the development will start with 22, and then 21 is finished today. So next next day 26, development iteration is 22, our iteration is 21, because the development is done on 21. So we go through the code. So and then which functionality is implemented, which one is not, we already knows with that user story. User story means like all functionality will not implemented in one day, right? One by one. Suppose like clone or break relationship or lock and unlock, you already saw it, right? All the will be small storage. Suppose like you already saw it, business requirement document, there is a 3 functionality: lock, unlock, and then breaking. So suppose on this sprint, breaking relationship got implemented, but lock and unlock is not implemented, it will implement the next. So if you are testing this, you cannot test, you cannot execute. Maybe your test case is ready, but it is not executable because your code is not ready yet, because it's not implemented. So in that time, we just follow, we know which iteration, which functionality is implemented. They have implementation. Otherwise, the software development will, the developer will be lost as well, because they cannot, if they have 10 developers, then how they divided their work, and then one sprint to another sprint. So they're working month after month, right? If it is a 1-year project, they need to work 10 people all year long, and then all business requirement document is not going to be duplicated with each other, right? So that is maintained, that is going to be in system design, or when they do the requirement analysis, a project manager or other people, they are sitting together, system architect, all our people are design this. We don't need to worry about, but we have a sound knowledge how the procedure it could be. So this is the STLC you already knows, like, but STLC maybe you know or you don't know. I'm not sure, but maybe Sangam will go already walk through this. But it is it is the graph of STLC. So we have a planning. Planning will do who? Manager or project lead, right? And in the meantime, we need to do the design or strategy, and then test analysis we need to do based on the requirement document, business requirement document, right? So who is the role? Test engineer. So as a QA analyst, as a QA analyst, will do this, and then design scenarios, test case, and test data gathering all will be on the design part. And the design part also who do? Engineer as well. And then execute who? Engineer. So when we do the execution, that time we find out the defect. If it is not, it's pass. If it is a issue, then defect, and then we need to report this, and then how it will go through. So when we report it, and then developer will integrate, you report it as a bug. So suppose your manager will assign to your development manager, developer manager, and then he will know his team whose task is what, and then he will assign to that particular guy or developer who maybe most of the time who retain the function for that. If it is any issues is came, they assign to him. He knows better his functionality, and then after that he will send back to you, okay, ready for retest. And then your manager will know, oh, okay, we are waiting for the retest because it's already solved, because they are testing developer test those, they did not find out an issue, excuse me. And then you execute again the same test case, you will execute again. And then if you think, oh, this is find out it is working as expected, then you just put it as a passed, and then you close it. Or if it is not, maybe most of the time manager also close it if you a manager. Or if you close, if they allow to you, then you might close also. And then after that the report will be updated as well, how many retest you did, how many defect you put it there, and then how many new defect is there or existing defect is there. So those are all that summary report will be there. Okay, so we'll show you how it's look like summary report one day, and then how it's look like the defect. So suppose like I wanted to share with you one defect look like, how it is look like the defect. So I'm opening on my Excel sheet. Suppose this is the defect Excel sheet. We follow you might be company follow the some other way, but suppose we have defect ID.
Can you little bit bigger in your
this is the number, and then when it is open, so company is required. So company said, okay, they need to track it, and then when it is closed, they need to track also, because they can, you see here, this one is closed 27, and then next day it got closed. Then some other one is 921, still it is not getting closed because it is a big one. They could not able to solve it yet. So it's priority wise, because the priority means it depends on how effective your defect is, because we already knows we have different severity and priority, right? Are you guys familiar, or you have a clear about what is the severity and what is the priority? You need to discuss with. If you are not familiar, maybe definitely I will give you the lecture of that. But sometimes a lot of people are fresh, they just came and then they don't know anything. Some people they already knows because they are coming from different place. I'm not assuming like you already knows, but I'm saying if you know this functionality, definitely you can put it. But if you don't know, let me know. We will have this discuss, because severity and priority is also important test cases. Because sometimes what happens is you put severity, and a developer will assign first which one is highest priority. Like suppose, oh, this is very critical, severity is high, so they will fix first high one for priority wise. They'll fix. Suppose if we have 20 defect, and then 5 is high, 12 is medium, and other 3 is low. So developer who where they will start to work. So our manager said, oh, okay, or their manager said, maybe your project, our project manager said, okay, first focus on higher priority, higher severity one, and this is your high priority, which one is severity high, and then they start working on it. And then when they start working parallelly, if they finish someone, and then in the meantime they're working on medium, and then low, something like that. So what we are talking about here, we will go through details more and more, but this is the columns, the yellow one, yellow header. This is the column header, the defect id, open, close date, and this is the description, what is the defect, like what is the which functionality is not working. Yes, so you put more details is more better. If people walk through and then read those steps, and then they already knows, oh, okay, this is the issue, or this is the defect for, or this is the bug, right? Same word we know that. So error displayed while receiving action menu. So what is saying, it's sporadic issue. Sporadic issue is not sometimes they are using this word sporadic or intermittent. So sometimes what happens is, not always. Suppose what happened is this one is a bug, right? And then someone is next time when you execute it, you did not see it is working fine. Then something like average 3 times you ran for the steps. Maybe you have a little more steps, right? 5 or 10, but up to 5 steps, it ran smooth. But one time you saw it on your step 5, it give you the error message, some unhandled error or some exception window is there, and then in that time you need to take the shot, and then you need to follow what is happens, find out your process. During the process you find out the same issue again. That is something is going on wrong. Maybe your cache issue, no, maybe your setup issue, you don't know, right? So that time you need to, oh, okay. And then maybe when you put the defect, and then you discuss with your developer, you ping him, and then you tell him like, I find out this. Do you think this is the issue? He said, yeah, it is the issue. If he said like, no, it is not the issue. It is non-issue. It is happens when your cache is not clear. Every time when you open a new browser, because it is testing phase, right? And then what happens is when you execute that application, and then it's working when cache is clear. What you need to do, go to the Chrome and then go to the clear all data, cache data, and then it is working as expected. So if old cache is there, and then it make a problem. So that time you cannot put as a bug, because everybody knows it is not a bug, it is a cache issue. So those things it could become. So this is overall status we follow. Suppose like environment, we already discussed, right? Environment, it could be a operating system is here. Suppose like environment, it could be multiple browsers. Suppose you are running your test cases on Chrome, and then you did not test with on Firefox. So test same data you need to execute on your other browser. Suppose with another project when I worked, it was desktop plus it should support on mobile application. So mobile has Android and so we need to put it this one same test case. It was written on Windows 7, Windows 10, iOS, and Android. 4. So same test case we need to run on 4 times. So 4 different environment. And then why? Because maybe on iOS has some issue, all others is working fine. Maybe Android is not working, all other 3 is working fine.
Is
So
it you are
that
talking about mobile testing?
environment, and then put this, oh, this is only this environment, not other environment. And then app owner, you are not understanding. I know it is their application name, code name. I'm not assuming you understand, but if they have multiple application, they can put it. If they said, your manager said, okay, you need to mention it, which application you problem, that time you can put that. It is not required, it is optional based on your project required specification, like which column they wanted to put it there. So verify in view station, this is another application, desktop application. So yes or no, they need to follow, they just put it as it is. And then you saw it here, reported by, suppose if you have five people team, and then who report this, who raise a defect, right? You raise a defect, and then your name is there. I raise a defect, my name is there. So Rahat is raise a defect, Rahat name is there. Because why? Sometimes when you need to re-execute, and then mostly your manager could send you to re-execute again after fix. Mine one? No, it is working. So people are not hearing anything.
Can you hear us?
Oh, unmute my.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear myself. Yeah, sometimes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now you are mute, right? Yeah, I turned it off. Oh, okay. Okay. So echo is coming when you turn on. Okay, sorry about that. Now can you hear you guys?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. And then this is the assign2. Assign2 is mostly here is using as a developer. Who is developed? Who is suppose like we have 5 developer. So this is the when you enter a defect or raise a defect, and then maybe your manager or some other people, they will put the name, not by you. This is but column, they're making the column for all recording purpose. Okay. Let me check, somebody sending text. My laptop is mute. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Naim. So, hey Naim. Now you can hear.
Hey Russell, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It was mute. I did not put attention. Sorry for that. Yeah. So if you have any question, just raise it or ask me. Feel free to ask me. Don't hesitate, because we are here for learning, and then make you clear about all process. So let me go through again, like what this look like, right? And then reported by, reported by this text, like QA team, and then assigned to, it will be the development team. And status is open or close. This is the status, or what is that bug. And then state is like, okay, new, open, it is a new status. And after that, like non-issue, suppose like, oh, they're saying like, oh, this is not issue, this is something else, this is happens, so they put it as a non-issue, so they reject the defect, so they put as a non-issue. And then retest failed, or retest pass, or passing retest, or that could be you restate as well, or waiting retest. So when this status you see, that's mean developer already fixed that bug, and then it is waiting on the list. And then as a tester, we need to retest it. and then when we find out retest is failed again, we can put the status as a retest failed or only failed, or failed again, put the date, which date is failed on the comment. So suppose like on number 4 is here. See here is we are saying verify with Mike. Mike is another developer. Retest node is not fixed. Suppose like he pointed out 3 things. First one is not fixed, first 2, and then 1 is fixed, and then they he put the date on it, which date. So that is in your comment section, you could put it there. So this is the JIRA issue number. Why they are putting as a JIRA ticket? JIRA, you already.
Possible, can you explain for the screen, because font is so small.
Let me try to zoom it. Just 1 second, because I know that is the issue. Is I could not even find.
Could you able to share a screenshot of your screen?
Screenshot, you saying?
Yeah, like on your current screen.
Now can you guys see more better?
Yes, now is better.
Okay. Yeah, this is Excel sheet, so we cannot put everything in one screen. So we can scroll. So this is the real time. I'm saying this is the real time defect list we follow on our companies. And then suppose like there is another tab is for screenshot, for proof. Sometimes if you written something and then they will say, do you have a screenshot? Because it's we all knows one picture is express more than 1,000 words. So also even though for your recording purpose, suppose like you are putting there a defect, and then when they test it on their machine, on the development environment, it is working for them, but when they push to QA, it has an issue, maybe some deployment issue, some build issue, it could be. So that time you need to put the proof on it. So that is the screenshot it will be. Suppose you can put another tab for the screenshot. I did not put it here anything because of it is not allowed, but you knows, you already knows, like sniping tools is doing this very easy. Any Windows application, when you put sniping as NIPPING, this is the sniping tool you see here. So when you start writing, it will come as a sniping tool. When you click here, you can take a screenshot anytime, anywhere. So suppose like I'll show you here. This is there, and then if you need to screenshot for this diagram, and then you just go here and then drag it from your starting point to right, hold your mouse pad and then release, and then it will come on the screen. You see here there is the sniping tools. This is Windows. Sometimes company also have that like Snagit. Maybe you are not familiar or not, I'm not sure. Snagit also, you can make it videos, or you can also create a screenshot, put the arrow, or suppose like you need to write something where is failing, you can make it arrow sign. You can do that. And also here is the option, there is the pen, so you can do that. Suppose somewhere you need to point it out, oh, this is the issue, then you can circle it, or you can make it arrow sign it like that. So you can give them the picture like where it occurs. So those things, even though if you don't like it, if you are you can delete it from the rubber. And then this is the highlight things. If you are highlighting something, some text, you can also highlight as well. And then after that you can save, and then when you save it, make sure it is PNG or JPEG. Sometimes it cannot put it as a GIF or some other format. Just follow this JPEG or PNG is standard, my recommendation. And then put somewhere on your destination folder, and then after that, when you need to attach or put into the Excel sheet, you can do that. Or without save, suppose you put it after pointing out here, and then you just right click and then copy this, and then go to your Excel sheet, and then come to your tab screenshot, and then point out your cell, and then Control V. You see already there. So if it is a big, and then you can also drag and drop or customize it on the corner. Suppose you see, sorry, it's so small, make it bigger. So you can also make it on the corner. You can also resize it. If it is too big, you can also resize. So this is 30%. You are not seeing this. Now this is 100%. So that's, I'm saying, like, you can resize any corner. You can drag. That sniping tools is important, or it is company give you the plugins, or there is a lot of plugins supporting by Chrome or Firefox. You can feel free to download if company allow. If it is not allowed, suppose most of the financial company, they are not allowing, they will give you to install you the software. If it is not, then you can use it, snag it. Okay, and then this is the defect we just discussed. This is, it would be like that. And then one thing I told you.
Can you go back your Excel sheet, please? Last column. I need.
Okay, okay, yeah. Do you have? Do you?
Test case sheet. Yeah, last column. What is the AWD1400? I know this one is the JIRA ticketing, and how do this number is coming, please?
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, definitely you are not familiar with, because this is somebody else project, right? So
no,
I'm not
we are not familiar for this.
definitely I'm not assuming like you will understand. Mostly 100% people are not understanding this, but this is like, this is the JIRA JIRA issues. Means if you are familiar with the JIRA tools, and then you might know this. I will show you, maybe it will take 5 minutes. I'll go overview with the JIRA. But this is like our application name, AWD, automated work document. That is the name, and then this is the number of JIRA ticket. So why that we are using here this JIRA ticket when we have a Scrum meeting, and then this is the task. So that task is assigned to the developer. When they develop, they put the comment inside the JIRA, and then we put it there. Why? Because Excel sheet is not interacting always. Suppose sometimes when they work, how management knows who is working what. So that's why JIRA is the tools for using as a agile methodology or some other. So interacting with all, because our Scrum master or project manager, they will knows who is working which project, and then when they finish, and then they have a task. So this is, don't worry about that. This is not like
Who created for this one? Who created?
This is the ticket number. Your company, maybe your company ticket number is different. If they use rally, you are not using JIRA issue. So it is depends on your company to company. Like if they use JIRA tools, maybe you can put it here.
Number.
You see.
Who created this number?
What?
Developer or other people?
It is created by system. When they create just task, I'll show you. When they create,
you can show practically. We are understanding.
Yes, yes. JIRA ticket will give you like, it is automatically system will create. JIRA tools will create this number. We are not creating. We just put it here. Just you bring this point. Let me finish. Like I say it is not taking that much. Let me find out I have it or not. I think I put it for you guys, but this is JIRA. Okay, this is JIRA. So suppose this is the JIRA board. Suppose in the morning time when you this is your first day.
Extend a little bit bigger for your screen.
Yeah, let me walk through, and then you will understand.
No, I understand. Maybe but the screen size is bigger. Just expand.
Screen size. Let me make it bigger more. Okay.
Share the files.
Yeah, but so now you can you see?
Right now is good. Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Okay. So this is your JIRA board. Suppose this is JIRA is a tool for JIRA or Rally. This is the JIRA board, and this is called dashboard. And this is the you see here on the arrow is sprint number, which sprint is running on. This is the application AWD application name sprint. This is the number, and also here is the 4 columns. You will see this is the to do task. In this sprint, what I need to do, it will be all listed on the first day, and then next day you started working with some task, and then you move it from to do list to in progress. Then all team member will know you are working which task. Suppose like in the when sprint is begin, suppose 8 or 10 tasks or 5 tasks or 4 tasks they will assign to you as a to do task, and then they will move to in your progress. Suppose you are not starting at a time all right, one by one, right? So that time you will move it in progress. After progress you are testing those, and then this is the next one is waiting. Waiting means sometimes if you progress, if it is working fine, you put as a done, not for wait. Suppose who is coming from wait list, suppose you have some issue, right, and developer need to fix it, and then he fixed. After fixed, he put on the waiting list and then assign to you. And then when you put when you select your dashboard, you will see there is the two on this screen. This is the guy. Now he has 2 tasks as a waiting, and then he need to retest. If it is fixed, he move to done. If it is not, he will put in waiting list assigned to him. Again, retest fail. So this is the 4 columns will navigate you how is your progress and what is your status as of now as a project wise. So everybody has separate dashboard. So how it is, sorry about that. So it is like as you see here, this is the name, all are individual name, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 all. So here is that this the guy is got selected and his task is there, and then this is the name. It is saying how many days is remaining. So Agile it could be 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So how many days is remaining here? This is the days, and then and then this is the icon of the user. And then did you see the create button is there? So you maybe your manager you will create. You don't have create permission.
12 days is coming because Agile sprint is 15 days in the 1 month. 2 sprints.
So maybe the screenshot, when you see the screenshot, suppose like I am assuming this one was 3 weeks sprint, and then sprint is already 6 days or sorry 7 days or 8 days is gone. So that's why you seeing this, because in the middle you see some task is done, some is waiting, some in progress, some is on to do. So it is not this is the screenshot. It is not for the first day. So that's why you are saying this is the here is the place. It will give you the number of days is remaining. That's why we took this screenshot. It is not like always it should be 12.
And 12 days is including Saturday, Sunday also, or only for working days?
It is like weekly wise. It's work Saturday, Sunday also. Maybe sometimes
Saturday, Sunday including.
yeah, sometimes it is might be on Friday is last day, or no, or is the last day. So this is look like that. So those the overviews. And then if you go to the next one, and then what I'm saying here, this is the suppose we have this any item on the top, right? On the top you see here all has the ID AWD 406, 1384, AWD 1395.
Yeah,
This is the
right now
number.
I understand.
Suppose like we open one, we just click AWD 13. So when we click AWD 1377, the details will come inside. What is the details? This is the header, we already knows, and then this is the assignee, this is a reporter, this is the manager. This is the reporter is manager here, and then this is the assignee name who is working on, and then this is the all will come like automatically, and then this is the description. They have the link or share drive link. This is the Excel sheet issue list is there, so they put as a description, and then there is the attachment. You can drag drop or you can browse while you save it. So there is the some attachment is there, they put it there, and then this is the activities. So under the activities they have some comments. So in that here on the right side you will see who is created, when it is created, and then updated 1 hour ago. So who updated? So maybe some status got updated. So those are details picture of the JIRA board when you open it or click the AWD the ID, and then you see here under the workflow it has the status is done or waiting, because it was in progress. After that if it is waiting, then it is waiting. If it is done, is done. That means when it is working fine, you change the status from the drop down. First click workflow and then choose done, and when you select, and then it will be done. Those, and then what before done, what you will do, retest. PFA means please find an attachment. So a shortcut, you can write down your full things. So retest and working as expected. I put the comments, and then this is the developer. The developer also put the comments 1 hour ago. Please add the screenshot to issue list, or the ticket will get more insight into the issue. So I gave him the attachment. He saw it, and then after that he pinged me. Hey, Tohidul, can you retest? Binoy, send me ping. And then after that I said, okay, which number you're talking about? He said like, AWD 1377. When you have the discussion, suppose like on Scrum meeting, and then that time you can say, oh, okay, I'm working on AWD 1377. This is the ID. Then today I will work on. And then there is another one. They will see the previous screen you saw it, right? So previous screen when you saw, you can tell him, oh, okay, yesterday I worked on 1403, and then I put as a done, because it's working as expected. So this is your daily status. You need to discuss with your team member, and then go again the details. We already change it. After change, and then what will happen? We put the comments on it, and then we change it the status after comment, and then just one second, go to the next window, because I make it zoom. You saw it here. This is the status is done, is green. From workflow, when we select done, that's become green. And then this is the screenshot, and then the comments is there, but it's got done. So when it is done, and then after that you see 1377 under done columns. So that is fixed, that is working fine. So this will happen automatically when you select from workflow to done. You don't need to move to done, even though you can drag it. So both way you can do. And then there is the, you see there is a more option. Suppose like developer they are working on this user story, and then you want to create for testing task. So and then that time you can open that current user story who is working developer, and then from more there is the link is create subtask. When you select create subtask, that create subtask will pop up, and then you saw it here. This is the ID already is presented because the subtask is not created yet. So issue type is subtask. You put the summary. That is the summary is header, right? Whatever we had here, item 25, no search result with web confirmation number in the client. So what is the issue? Issue was like we have a web confirmation number when we submit, and then that confirmation number also is searchable. So when we copy the confirmation number and go to search option and then enter the confirmation number on that field and then hit search button, no result came, but we expecting result should become. So that was the issue. So it was pointing there, and then it was assigned, and then they were working. So in the meantime, if you need to subtask, create a subtask, if by your own, you can do that. But if they allow, if not allowed to you, maybe you can request your Scrum Master or your manager create a subtask, and then they will know like, oh, okay, I'm working on it, because everything need to be assigned. Suppose like you have a 10 assigned work is there, in the middle something is come for your request, and then you working on your team member, nobody knows you are working on, right? And then your manager will say, okay, you did not progress the other one, you what you did, and you need to explain. Oh no, it's, some manager came, no, not manager, some developer came, and then priority wise I was working on this, I retested, and then you are maybe you spend 2 or 3 hours, but that 2-3 hours need to be like put it as a like as a task. So that need to be documented, because everybody then knows, oh, you working on, you jumping on the another one as a priority wise. Maybe some production defect came, right? They immediately they fix it. They will say just quick test. That one is not on your sprint on list. That time you can create a subtask. Okay, production support testing. You can create a task and then put there. They will know. Oh, okay, there is the point. So that way they will track it. Okay, and after that, this is the form. I'm not saying like this is the it is system, right? This is the JIRA board. So when you click all fields, some is required, some is optional. So it depends on what you put it there. So all details will you need to put it. Suppose like assigned and reporter will come same person. Suppose you need to change it to your manager, and then manager will knows, okay, he need to report it, he need to close it. So that time you need to change as a reporter name. Here is the same person. So then after that, when you hit here you see priority, and then and a lot of things is there, right? You can put it there as a as your task, and then when you hit create, then it will create a task, and then it will generate a AWD some number, because the AWD is the project. You got it? So this is the JIRA board is look like. Do you have any question? Okay. So BRD you already saw it, and this already you saw it. So now is 1:20. We know Sunday we are very tight for the time. Some people need to go back to New York for a long hours drive. So today is I would say like finish the class today now, and then next week I'll continue those about the all test cases every Sunday, and then you start writing the test cases and then just go through. And then in the meantime, I would say if you are not understanding anything during the Sangam class, please note out, write down the notes, and then ask me on Sunday as well. Definitely, I recommend it during the Sangam will give you the answer. But in the meantime, if you find out later, also we need to discuss about anything in for the manual, manual things, manual stuff, and definitely write down. Then it will go through. And then always, my personal suggestion is when you see the any lecture, write down on your notebook or on your laptop, because if you see on your laptop, maybe you might not write down, but I will say use your pen and notebook, because it will go your brain more and more. It will stay longer. It's my personal suggestion. Thank you for have just keep studying, and then we'll go continue. Okay. Thank you for all. Bye now.